just listening to Jay Gruden, that he believes this roster is more complete than in the past, and there's going to be more competition because I heard him talking about, well, some of these guys are going to battle out in the preseason. One of the things we were talking about before the show was they have a ton of tight ends, for example. What's going to happen there?
Yeah, JP, I would say this. Obviously because of George Reed's injury history, you have to protect yourself, and by not carrying a fullback, that does allow you potentially to carry a fourth tight end. I would say this. If they carry Derek Carrier over rookie Jeremy Sprinkle, who had just a phenomenal catch in the red zone yesterday, just this big, wiry, long dude with arms like Spider-Man, and just jumps out. If they carry Derek Carrier over Jeremy Sprinkle, I'm going to be disappointed. To me, I would carry right now, without doing all the numbers, but because of Reed's injury history, because of Niles Paul injury history, I would carry Reed, Vernon Davis, Niles Paul, and rookie Jeremy Sprinkle out of Arkansas.
Are there any names from the last team that you in trouble of not making the roster this year?
Ooh, that's a good question, Jason. I would say, and this isn't a sexy name, but Ari Kwanjo. The guy is, and I'm sorry, I hate to say this, but he's just a stiff. He just hasn't. I'm sorry, I feel bad saying that. He has never stood out in any way, shape, or form. Obviously the easier name is Matt Jones, but I think Matt, every time that I've been down here, and maybe Craig and others would have a difference, but just to talk to a few people and not digging too much, but Matt has been running with a reckless abandon, for lack of a better term. He's been lowering the boom. He's been exploding into people. He's been running hard. He's been catching the ball pretty well. I will tell you this, to me, Ari Kwanjo is the best guy that fits that mold. But right now, I wouldn't rule Matt Jones out for making this roster, especially.
Well, give me a scenario how he will. Give me a scenario.
Is he ahead of Mac Brown?
I don't think he's ahead of Mac Brown because of the special teams thing, but you're talking Rob Kelly, Chris Thompson, Samaje Perine, Mac Brown, Matt Jones over Kenny Hilliard, certainly, who they just signed a day or so at the camp. Obviously, that's a lot of running backs to take. And, again, I don't know if you could take 5 running backs and the 4 tight ends we were talking about.
I don't
but then
think
you're going to send somewhere else. You're probably going to have to come down to whether it's that 4th tight end, Sprinkle, or whether it's the 5th running back, Jones. But here's what I'm saying. Maybe at the very minimum, if he continues and if he puts out some good tape in the preseason, he will get the opportunity. Maybe the Redskins can get a better conditional draft pick, or perhaps you never know what happens with injuries. Maybe you can get a useful player that, an outside linebacker from one of 31 other teams that might be able to help fortify your depth a little bit.
All right, do we know on Thursday night when the Redskins go to Baltimore for the first preseason game against the Ravens whether the first team offense will play?
We don't know yet, and Jay obviously usually holds us to the vet. What I will say is last year in Atlanta, first preseason game they did play. They did play a series. I think it was about 7 or 8 plays, and I think they got a field goal, if memory serves me correct. They did not, however, play in the second game at FedEx Field of the preseason. I would be disappointed. Now, this is just me being, kind of like trying to put common sense to this. Hey, look, Jay, if you're not going to play them in a preseason game in one of the first 3, play them for your home fans. Screw Baltimore. Play them in Washington against the Packers at FedEx Field in week 2. Don't play them Thursday night. That's just me. I don't know if he's going to do that, but I wouldn't play them personally.
So they have practice today, practice tomorrow, and then they leave Wednesday. No practice Wednesday?
Right. 2 practices today if the rain holds out as goes, obviously. In the D.C. area, the rain is also here in Richmond. Expect to be, I think, 50-60% chance of rainstorms at the afternoon main practice. Probably going to wipe out the morning walkthrough. Tomorrow afternoon, it'll be just 1 practice at 1:35, and then Wednesday is off. And, of course, Thursday in Baltimore, Friday, off, and then they wrap up the Richmond part Saturday and Sunday and then they have a private workout a week from today here in Richmond, and then that is it.
Yeah, rain's coming through right now. It's going to rain all day and probably into the dinner time hour, I would think.
One thing with all this facility here, they still haven't built any sort of an indoor facility. So when they have like these morning walkthroughs, which are scheduled at 10:35, they usually have to go. And I don't think they've had to do this very often over the last couple of years since I've been not 100% off the beat, but they have to go like to a convention center because they don't have an indoor facility here to practice in or even walk through in like they have at Redskins Park in Ashburn.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. All right,
Chris.
Thank you, buddy. Appreciate it.
All right. Thanks, fellas. Appreciate
Thank you, Mr. Russell.
All right. It doesn't sound good on Doxson, right?
Got to hold
He's
your
already
breath on him.
projecting it all the way to the season.
Did he say that he might miss part of the start of the season?
That's what he said. He said that's definitely possible. No, he's just guessing.
Yeah, I mean,
he's just guessing by the severity of sort of the way and how pissed off he was.
Yeah.